Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the New Year's greeting from Yoshi P and the team over at Creative Unit 3 at Square Enix. So let's read through this. So we have one of these every year and it'll be interesting to see what they say this time around. Yoshi P says, Happy New Year to Final Fantasy 14ers near and far. That's a thing now, Final Fantasy 14ers. Very cool. This is producer and director Naoki Yoshida. Beyond a boiling hot summer and an almost non-existent autumn, we've wintered through the end of the year and into 2025. I was announced as head of the old Final Fantasy XIV on December the 10th, 2010. So for me, this marks my 15th year on the project. We naturally tend to value anniversaries in fives, like the 5th or the 10th, but now half of my career as a game developer has been happily devoted to Final Fantasy XIV. That I've been able to come this far and make so many incredible memories is because of you, Warriors of Light. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Last year marked a new beginning for the Reborn 14 with the release of our 5th major expansion, Dawntrail. Patch 7.1 gave us a sense of the trouble brewing for the Warrior of Light, so I hope you'll join us this year for patches 7.2 and 7.3, where you'll experience some exciting twists and catch a glimpse of adventures yet to come. Interesting. My own work is focused even further ahead, as I wrestle with a certain storyboarding task. A recent conversation with a community team went something like this. Quote, Korea was the last stop of our Fan Festival tour, wasn't it? Yup. So what are we doing after FanFest? Don't you know? The next FanFest begins. End quote. I mean, it is like that, isn't it? It is like that. One FanFest ends, another one begins because of how things work, spacing it throughout the year. Who knows what the what 2025's FanFest is going to be like. So we're already preparing for even greater developments to all Final Fantasy XIV has to offer. After 15 years, he says, these sorts of preparations have become something of a year-end tradition, but I have to admit, thinking up new ideas never fails to thrill, and I can hardly wait to see you all again in person. Same. And it would seem this particular tradition persists as well. So here you go. From the Diary of a Young Man, here's your New Year's cryptic bit of information. It's in a Solution 9 sort of terminal, let's call this, with its kind of like reflective thing. So this is like printed on a Solution 9 terminal. It says, never stop, never turn back. He who stops will ne'er endure. He who turns will ne'er be more. Okay, so never stop, never turn back. He who stops will never endure. He who turns will never be more. He who turns? Okay. So it's about going forwards, not looking backwards. Interesting. Is this in reference to a certain set of experiments that were done in a certain dungeon in 7.1? I don't know. Who knows what this is about? Of all the notes I've received over the years, this one has a distinctly different feel to it. I wonder how its words will influence our story going forward. ... Me too. The development team is deep into work on patch 7.2, and in February I'll start my own checks on implementation. Our jam-packed schedule is set to bring you a jam-packed patch, so look forward to lots of new content. Kicking off with a release of patch 7.2, we hope to bring you a full year of fun and surprises both in-game and out. Again, I wish you a happy new year and thank you for your continued support. Producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, Naoki Yoshida, and this is fantastic bit of artwork at the bottom with Yoshi P and Kryl and the Great Serpent of Ronka and Rainbows, and Lakshmi over here in dirigibles, and Valagon Manda posed on a crystal over here. It's going to be an interesting year, isn't it? It's going to be an interesting turning point for the game. So obviously February is the checks for patch 7.2. It's likely that we'll see our first live letter preview of patch 7.2 in February. Obviously there'll be two, I presume, parts to the 7.2 preview, which probably means early February, we'll probably see the first part of the live letter and then the second part of the live letter probably very early March. And then we're probably looking, as a good estimate, that patch 7.2 would come out mid-March, something like that, mid to late March. I think most people already have that kind of idea of when it's going to come out. And you can kind of estimate it further by looking at what Tuesdays fall within those time frames. But yeah, so I'm excited for 7.2. This makes no sense to me at all, unless it's the diary of a young man. This could be a young man that's been involved in experiments or something, or this could be propaganda for like conquest. I'm not really sure what's going on here. It's clearly like a Solution 9 heads-up display. Let me know what you think about this. How far can we overanalyze this before it makes even less sense until we realize this is actually nothing to do with anything and it's just a ruse? But yeah, it's really nice to see that Yoshi P is still getting excitement out of storyboarding and creating content for 14 after 15 years. I can only imagine how difficult it would be for the script team to come up with something that's going to tantalize and enrich people's enjoyment of the game even further, especially after what they've done over the last, 11 years of content. So I'm looking forward to 7.2. It could be a turning point for the storyline as well, and hopefully bring a lot of people back. So hopefully we get to see more info on 7.2 soon. But still, very cool. And I personally wish not only you and everybody else watching, but of course Yoshi P and the team a Merry Christmas belatedly, and obviously a happy 2025. It's going to be an exciting year, and there's going to be lots of coverage from me. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you get anything more out of this than I have. Maybe there's some lore aficionados that know specifically beyond what I think. I just have this sort of prediction that this is something to do with the dungeon added in 7.1 and the revelations we've learned since then. But who knows? Who knows? This could be anything. Let me know. Much love, and I'll see you all next time.